Right, it is time for our Rally Cry halftime show. What is that, Magical? Is that what it is?
Finger guns, you know?
Yeah. All right.
Sup?
It was the sound effects, you know. Also, we got Cat just looking to cause a little trouble, you know. They've already torn the lights off the wall. They're yeah.
They're like, Mom, where are the lights? Why aren't they up? I must tear them down.
I'm gonna
Did
laugh
you guys
so
hear
hard.
him that time?
No,
I'm gonna
wait,
laugh
did he
so
meow?
hard if one time just somehow the shelf itself falls down and you just hear
You see, they have little straps on the back because they're supposed to be like childproof shelves, and I did not put those straps on the wall.
Even better. Even
I'm
better.
renting.
Maybe you
Let's
should.
not jinx that and put anything into
Touch
existence.
wood, you know?
Except for, except when it comes to our teams. Let's jinx the teams a little bit, okay?
Okay.
All right? We're going to do some farewell cards for our teams.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's it's gonna be one of those days. But yeah, there's been a lot of great things from our players and our teams. We are gonna be saying goodbye to one of these teams, so we're gonna take the opportunity to do a couple of farewell cards for a couple of the players and such, unless their team wins and moves on, in which case we're gonna rip up the card, say that we had faith all along, and pretend like this never happened. Okay? Oh my
Sounds
God.
good. I'm very happy to retroactively alter my take so I can be like, oh, I was right all along. Obviously.
I'm just gonna do
I'm
a farewell card for
genius.
each team so that I seem even smarter.
Or you seem, I think that's just even, like, you know, it's fair. You say goodbye to everyone just in case.
Yeah. I mean, for every single team that we still have in playoffs, I mean, we will say goodbye to every single one of them except for one.
Yeah.
So, you know what? You actually have a decent chance of being right. So, we're going to take the opportunity on the cards, though. Say, like, a little nice something about the player. Like, hey, you know, if I was saying goodbye to Magical. Hey, Magical, goodbye forever. I'm going to miss your quacking randomly. You know? So, something like that. Something to remember them by, okay?
Fine.
All right, who wants to go first?
I do.
Okay.
All right, Magical. You're
No.
not Magical. Beat down.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was.
It's okay.
It's been a long day already, you know. Who do you want to write a card for?
It's only 5 o'clock. I want to write a card for Keel.
For Keel. All right.
Yes.
Dear Keel. All right.
No one else is smart enough to see the value of Nunu. But you did.
All right, you want to
I will
elaborate a
never
little
forget.
further?
I will never forget that and you. In fact, I will play Nunu in solo queue later today in your honor. So thank you. And goodbye.
All right, that was a little wordy, but we did in
Ask me
fact
to
get
elaborate.
All right, I didn't think I meant on the card. I can only write so fast. This is a filler
I
for
see.
the card. You know,
Your
there's.
handwriting's nice.
There you go. Is that a decent card for you, Beatdown?
Yes, that's perfect.
Perfect. All right. Would you like the little heart next to Keel?
Sure.
All right. I don't want to assume y'all's feelings, you know?
That's
All right.
valid. I appreciate that.
All right. Here. There you go. All right, Magical. Who do you want to do one for? I heard that you were cheating and going to write one for everyone.
Well, no, just one for each team.
One for each team. All right. What team do you want to go for first?
So just because you did wild card, we'll stick to that, and I'll do lens.
Oh, I can already tell where this is going.
Uh-oh.
All right, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Dear Lens, if there was a Rookie of the Split award, you'd be mine.
Do it.
If there was a rookie of... That sounds like a Valentine's Day
I was
card,
just thinking
honestly.
that actually. Or that would have been good a couple of weeks ago. Oh damn,
Right?
that would have been a great idea. You know what? 2024 spring we'll do Valentine's again, and then we'll use this game for that.
And just hope that, you know, Lens is absolutely, like, popping off around that time.
Yeah, exactly.
There you
Perfect.
go.
Perfect.
You'd be mine. That's
I like
good.
how you have.
I
The
did put the hearts there because, like, I've heard you in enough meetings. I know, you know.
Wow.
I'm not gonna assume people's feelings, but like I know yours about Lens. You're very
Sure.
much
Good.
so
It's very
hyped on
good.
Lens. So.
Very good.
All right, Beat down. Who's next to receive a card? We should even. we should
I'm
even this
going
out
to
here.
FlyQuest now.
Okay.
Yeah.
just hear the cat in the background.
I know, I saw that too. That kind of distracted me. It just jumped somewhere. It's fine.
You see his tail? He's up on the in the cat tree.
All right, give me Winsome.
Winsome? All right.
I thought you'd go with Masu.
That's the predictable one, you know?
The predictable one. All right. How are we going? Winsome?
All right. Yeah, dear Winsome, you changed FlyQuest in a way we'll never forget. Even if you lost now, you will probably win some in summer.
Oh my god, that's so... This is too... You're that type of person that just writes paragraphs on greeting cards?
Yeah, usually. Not like paragraphs, plural.
Even if
but like, you know.
lose some... Oh my god. You win some. Alright.
In summer.
Oh my god. Alright. You're really... Alright, this is a great segment until beatdown's involved, in which case...
Yeah, now you know, next time.
Okay, yeah.
Listen, I went to university, okay? We had these arbitrary minimum page amounts, so I'm just used to, stretching sentences.
I didn't go to university, only have high school education, so you're gonna have to be a little more kind
so
to
jealous.
me,
See,
alright?
I'm with Beat. I mean, I remember having to write like 10,000 word pages, and you're like...
minimum.
It's like a question that's like, oh, how is the weather? And you're like, I have to write 10,000.
Okay, wow, your school sounds terrible if that's true.
I'm exaggerating. It was just a very...
Okay.
I'm saying
Yeah,
it was
I skipped English because I was doing French, so you'll have to be a little kinder to me, alright?
Ooh, Vala.
Please, I
was
beg.
doing German, so...
It's very Canadian.
I also did German, magical, and Spanish.
Less Canadian,
I got Japanese
but
on
more
mine.
poggers.
It was German and Japanese for me.
Yo, I have Duolingo Japanese, you know?
Nice.
I'm literally just like a barely bilingual child of immigrants, so not nearly as impressive.
I mean, your English. I mean, we've seen the paragraphs. All right.
Yeah, true. It's wonderful.
Speaking of people who immigrated, can we talk about UG? Because that's going to be my next one.
That's going to be your next one. All right.
Because UG...
Is it safe to put a heart next to this one too for you, Magical? I've also heard you talk a lot about UG.
I do like UG. You can put hearts, so sure, why not? UG, if we only looked at the last 3 weeks of the regular season, you'd be MVP.
Yeah, what happened? For anyone who wasn't watching, elaborate on the other 4 weeks, like...
It's the cat. Destroys more.
Oh, I thought, oh my god, it knocked over her camera!
Oh no, I don't think it knocked over her camera.
oh my god.
Yeah, I think the cat
it turned off her
unplugged.
PC.
I think the cat turned off her PC. Oh no!
Well, Alex, it's just you and me. So you write a card to me about you. Hold on, I have a pen.
All right, I got pens. I got pens. I got paper.
No,
all
but
right.
I'm writing this one for you.
Okay.
My handwriting is terrible. I was not ready for this.
I got a banana duck. Does that count?
No.
The banana duck. So.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Yeah, we were not ready.
What do you got
this.
to say about UG? No, it's fine. It's fine.
I said it already. I said if we looked at the last 3 weeks, you'd be my MVP.
Okay. Last 3 weeks of regular season or in general?
Yeah, regular season. If it was playoffs, you'd be my MVP.
Gotcha. Dear UG.
God, that is just too funny. I cannot believe her cat turned off her computer.
You did say this could happen, funny enough.
Like, it just... The fact that it happened at that moment, though. Like, not while we're broadcasting and she's just watching,
true.
from the sides. It's like, while we're live and she's in the middle of writing something, the cat's just like, meow! Alright. Well, if I had my deck of cards, I could do a magic trick, but...
Could you actually?
Yeah, I mean, I've been practicing.
If you want a heart, I don't remember.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
Alright, I guess I'll just talk about the games instead and talk about how that one went. Like I said, it really boiled down to just a good play early on from FlyQuest in the bot lane that got them 2 kills early for Masu. Wildcard did try a lot of plays.
All right, I'm done.
They never just forfeited, but they at least were constantly looking for something. Okay, what do you got?
All right, this is it. Oh God, I picked a really bad pen.
Yeah, you did. Oh my God, I cannot read it.
Okay.
What is this? A letter for ants?
Oh, I almost had it. Hold on.
Yeah, I can't. It's doomed. It's doomed. Why don't we instead just get ready for the
Here you
game,
go. Nope, we got it. There you go.
Oh, we got it. Hey!
We got it. Woohoo!
All right. So, there we go.
Awesome.
Now let's get past this. Hopefully, Sierra gets everything fixed. So let's get into our second game of this best of 3. Shall we beat down?
I think we shall, as I readjust.
Okay, I'm gonna throw to the play-by-play. Who's me? Hello.
Hey,
we're here for
nice.
draft, and like I was talking about before, FlyQuest, they got some good plays early on.
They do.
But it felt like in the last game, Wildcard were constantly fighting from the hole and trying to get back to the game. They always were looking for those plays, which is admirable, but it's really hard as a team that tends to like to stack up those dragons early to even miss out on one, which put them in this bad position. But now in game 2, they are on the red side. And when we look at playoffs, they have only won on red side. And even looking back towards the regular season, most of their games were played on the red side. I think they were 18-8 when they played on red side throughout the regular season.
Because they often picked red side because, again, it's less about matchups for them and about getting the kind of composition that they want for team fighting later on in the game. And the interesting thing, too, is that FlyQuest Challengers actually had side selection for this game. They picked red side away from them in game 1. They had a really good draft based on how they want to play versus them. So it just shows the kind of strategy that we're finally seeing teams who can really understand how to play into a team like Wildcard. And now that the sides have swapped, FlyQuest, if they want this clean 2-0, really show us they're a top team here in NACL, that they have to do 2 games in a row.
And it's funny, I was going to mention the point, too, that FlyQuest, when we look at the playoffs as well, has been a team that is primarily played on red side, and that's when they found their the most wins is when they're on the red side. But now we got to talk about what's happening here. Because the bans kind of expected that we see for these two teams, which is weird because you have a Garen ban. But what got let through was Fiora, something that has been hotly contested for both Philip and Moosehater, and then Draven for Lens.
Yeah, and I'm very interested with because Masu's Ezreal was taken away this time around, and the Spyrax's Jace too. What's the bot lane going to be there from Masu? Of course, Aphelios Thresh feels like the natural thing here, but Duo King plays the Blitzcrank, and that's going to be very difficult. So I wouldn't be surprised if FlyQuest grab their jungle and just pick the AD carry, and then worry about support later on when they can ban away something like the Blitzcrank.
Does seem that the Aphelios is still going to be that option, as you were kind of calling out, and then possibly holding off what they want for Winsome, especially because Keel, having drafted that Wukong already, means that Yuji has a lot easier of a time of what he wants this time around, going for Vi, something that he has had a lot of power towards the latter half of the season, as well as here in playoffs.
Yeah, now Duo King has a decision to make. Are you going to just blind the Blitzcrank here, knowing something like the Thresh is going to come through for Winsome? Or do you just pick something else? And it's looking like something else is the play. Moosehater didn't have a good time in game 1, but he's trying to go rock solid for game 2.
Rock solid, especially against a Fiora. It is still a difficult matchup later into the game because Fiora will eventually get to the point.
True damage is so cool.
Right, exactly. But lane phase is where it's going to be difficult for Philip to really pilot this against, and I think that's what's going to be most important for Wildcard, because Moosehater did really struggle in that Ornn versus Sion matchup top lane. He was constantly getting bullied around, was falling behind, where even eventually when he joined the team fights, he then had to deal with the problem that there was a Braum on the other team, and as Ornn, it's even worse.
Right, and that's why now you're seeing some of these other picks targeted away. Silas is a great band. Spyrax, you don't want that unstoppable force being taken and used against you. And as well as the Orianna, because there's been, this illegal special, and he is such an incredible team fighter for this team. You want to remove the wombo options that Wildcard already have here. So at this point, I'm expecting the Blitzcrank ban away there for the last one for the side of FlyQuest Challengers, just so you can safely pick something like the Thresh.
Yeah, that's what I would expect as well. Then again, Duo King could easily grab Thresh too. That's something that you can take away, and it's not terrible with Draven. It's not I'm not going to say the greatest, but it's a good takeaway against something like an Aphelios Thresh when you don't have that Blitzcrank answer.
Right, you could do that, but I'm expecting Duo King to go for something ranged more than anything else. Or if, okay, true, the Nautilus is also an option there. It is that all-in potential. And it's maybe not as good as denying away the Aphelios Thresh, but it is more of that wombo. Remember, wildcard draft for team fighting. This rather not Ornn, they have Malphite, they have this Nautilus, they even have heal on this Wukong. So it is about the CC and setup they have for these team fights, and I don't see as much of that for wildcard side. So there's going to be pressure for Winsome to, if he has the Thresh locked in, to set up these fights, get these big death sentences, and maybe put CC in Spyrax's lane as well. Okay, so it's Kench's. Oh, wait, Kench?
Yeah, no, I really like the Kench.
This is better. This is better.
I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, the wild card have a kill squad, and their target is Masu. So who better to protect it than Tom Kench? So no, good pick. A good pick.
Oh, I thought you had more, because I completely agree. I was expecting the Thresh as well, but into all this wombo combo, it's far more reliant on your skills and how you're going to pilot around it. Well, Tom Kench, nom nom nom, Masu safe.
Right, and this is pretty good too, because I like that Talia there for Spyrax. You can have the early game impact like we kept seeing in game 1, and you can create terrain with the ultimate. You can actually, that Unraveled Earth is going to get a lot of value in these team fights against Duo King, against Keel. So being able to control space in these team fights, especially when Philip isn't in the area because he's wanting to split, is going to be pretty important.
I like this last pick for Sligo. Syndra has been the kind of go-to for Sligo usually when Orianna is banned, especially when they have more of that team fight composition, the wombo combo, plus having that Malphite on the team. They like to have that because it does do a good job at disengaging and keeping things kind of separated. Also, if you do land a good scat of the week, well, everything's going to fall after.
Yeah, I'm looking. I actually I favor Wildcard's draft here that they've gotten for themselves in game 2. It's so clear to their identity. There are so many ways that Sligo can also have an impact in that early game. Keel helps them get pushed. They move. Bot dives will be so easy for them to set up. There's a lot of pressure on FlyQuest, not only to execute well in these team fights, but get a lead in the early game so that you don't fall behind and you get to this point where even if Wildcard have good team fighting, the gold and stat difference that you hopefully build for yourself will make it void.
And here we are. It is game 2. Wildcard's hopes and dreams of a playoff run as the provisional team are on the line here. FlyQuest Challengers have been red hot since the last few weeks of the regular season, going 3 games against Dignitas Challengers. Then to get here against Wildcard, all they want is to pick up this win, continue to march forward to get into the top 6.
That's right. One of these teams will make it to that top 6, and the other, we will have to say farewell. We're just getting to that point in the season where there can only be one at the very end, and both of these teams are trying to get there. Again, like you said, it's so important for Wildcard to be able to, win this game where they have a draft that is perfect for how they play the game, and also to keep themselves alive in that series, take us to a 3rd game, and potentially go for that upset.
I also do like that rally cry did confirm our suspicions.
Yep.
That Sierra was ganked by Cat. Ganked by Cat, not ganked by Mom this time around. And Philip and Spyrax are in a very interesting position.
I like it.
They know that Philip is actually looking for this pressure on Keel, but Crusader's taking his time to show up to defend him. So Keel took a lot of damage for it. You will force out Philip eventually, but how much time he killed of Keel's is going to give Yuji so much pressure here early.
Yeah, like that is really smart. We see a lot of top laners do this on champions like the Fiora because you slow down the clear. You look at how much health Keel has lost. Even after his clear, he's likely going to reset after clearing the top side. Otherwise, he risks being at that bot Scuttle Crab at a very low health because his clear is going to be kind of unhealthy. And you look at Yuji, on the other hand, he's chilling. He's like, oh yeah, Keel's starting late. Well, I've already done my bottom quadrant. I'm level 3, baby. And he has that option to play for bot or just move to full clear on the top side.
I actually would like to see Keel maybe not even go for that reset instead. Try to make a play around the top half. Try to see if he can punish Philip, because that was one thing that did happen from Philip, using that advantage that he has top lane initially to try to put pressure on Keel. He burned the ghost for it and then came to lane late there is an experienced lead for Moose Hater. And that could be something unusual that we don't usually see from Wildcard because we're so used to them playing around this bottom half of the map. Especially, you want to see them do that with a Draven. But putting a Fiora behind very early onto the game is going to allow you extra time to bolster up this Draven as Yuji looking for the play in the bot lane to try to answer what we were just talking about. Nice flash answer, Yuji! What in the world was that play to make sure you get first blood from Masu? As Keel was too late for the play.
Wow. And this is what we keep talking about. Yuji turning it up for playoffs. These last couple of weeks have been incredible for him. And it culminates into both sums for Lens down, while Lens himself also goes down.
What a play.
Really good start for FlyQuest.
Just the mechanics, the know-how, the prediction of the flash. This is why I said if it was just the last few weeks, Yuji would be my MVP.
Well, it isn't. But overall, yeah, it's just some really good stuff early game. You want to set behind this Draven. And we said the pressure was on for FlyQuest to make these early game plays. And who better to get it done than Yuji on this bottom side. And also shout out to Winsome, eating that dredge line by flashing into it. Really good stuff all across the board.
Great. And getting Masu that first kill too. So you can come back into lane with a Vampiric Scepter. There's minor leads. It's very early into the game.
Matters.
But it matters. It will all add up, especially if you can continue to punish this bot lane that has no summoners across the board outside of an Ignite for Duo King.
It means that Yuji, after clearing that top side, can reset. Look for a revisit here in these coming minutes. And that's what I'm looking for him to do. Keel, though, looking to even the odds, showing up himself over on this bottom side, looking for a lane gank. But great vision coming through.
Yeah, nice heads-up play here from... I would assume that would be Winsome, but it could have been Yuji when he showed up into the bot lane, placed down that ward to deny any further play such as we're seeing. And this is just FlyQuest again, controlling Wildcard early into the game from that play that Philip made onto Keel to slow down his jungle pathing to then bot lane, getting an early kill. You get some of the adoration stacks off early of Lens.
Yeah, and already creating a lead for Masu. Talk about both of these teams playing for that bottom side. Game 1, FlyQuest did it better. In Game 2, at least these first couple of minutes, they are doing it better. And it's going to get harder for Wildcard because once Yuji hits level 6, once Spyrax hits level 6, they have the ability to also... Spyrax can come down with that Weaver's Wall, and Yuji will have access to that point-and-click CC.
Guess we see on the bot lane again. It's Yuji, this time looking for Duo King, and all that damage unleashed, and with no summoners, it's a Masu kill yet again, continuing to feed this rookie more and more as Keel will find Yuji trying to get back into the river. We'll force him out, but again, more working out well for FlyQuest.
And that's 2-0 Aphelios in 6 minutes here. It's just been incredible, and Wildcard in this early game, they need to keep it happening. And, oh, wait, I think I know where this tweet is. Oh, hold on a second.
Nice flash.
Good flash.
Yeah, it's a good heads-up play by Spyrax to flash away just in case, Scatter the Weak, Unleash Power.
And we're seeing this tweet here from Colmer. I know Yukino Sniper will get a lot of love, but the MVP this split is Masu. I don't think it's very close. Masu has been incredible all split long, and he is definitely in our conversation. And if you want to join that conversation, you already know, baby. Use that hashtag NACL on Twitter. We'll feature tweets like that on stream as bonus points if you make fun of Magical.
Good beatdown. I'll give you your cookie later.
Okay. I do like cookies.
Yes, I know. As right now, Yuji likes dragons and denying that from Wildcard. Another game plan denied from Wildcard. This time the dragon stacking's out of the initial stages too. The first dragon, uncharacteristically not going to Keel because he can't really play around this bot lane with how much attention Yuji has put around it.
Aphelios is 2-0 bot lane. This is not an option for you anymore. You, of course, once you get to level 6, Keel can make a big move there and hopefully allow Lens to cash in on some of those stacks. He's been trying to rebuild back up, but he needs to get to level 6 before we ever see that as a possibility. For the moment, he will invade, take some camps away, deny XP from Yuji, but we already know this bot side is where he has his attention. And with these question mark pings coming through here, that pink ward, they need to keep that up on the side of FlyQuest because Yuji, that's his way in to that side of the map to hopefully set up another dive, because that'd be crazy.
I think that's what's going to happen as well. Once you hit level 6 as Vi,
how much XP does he have?
Huh?
I want to know how much XP, like, will he hit 6 off the camp? Is what I'm wondering.
I would have to take an estimate of yes, because it just happened.
Hey, there you go.
So my assessment's great, as now, instead of using a bot lane, we'll look for the mid lane play. Great combination, Talia and Vi, with Taligo having flash, but not even bothering.
Yeah, as soon as the Scatter of the Week comes through, it's an easy play there for Yuji. And Keel moved bot, predicting that dive that we were highlighting, and didn't end up finding Yuji. He's just been dodging him all game. Yuji everywhere he wants to be, and Keel just can't keep up, it's looking like. And it means that Yuji is going to pick up both early game objectives, Dragon and that Rift Herald, because there's just no answer from Wildcard.
Well, this kind of goes back to that conversation we talked about with Yuji, and where having someone like Winsome on the team, sure, you could make an argument like we're not really seeing that interaction between the two in this game exactly, but it's about having someone who can help lead calls. Because Yuji was someone who was put in a lot of that position to make these calls for the team alongside Spyrex when it was just Ketong on the team.
Yeah.
But now it's more shared. So he actually has ample time to get callouts from Winsome where he feels, I can go for this play, I can look for this one. And with how good Yuji is mechanically, he knows the limits that he needs to take in order to make those steps properly to get these objectives, so that Keel on this Wukong feels like he's not even on the same map as Yuji.
Yeah, another thing to keep in mind too is that Yuji even talked about before Winsome came that he had a lot of say in the early game plans that FlyQuest were making. I imagine that's still the case.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is too with Winsome encouraging people to talk more, it's maybe given him that confidence to be able to really just go for these more confident plays, because he's been just doing some incredible stuff. I mean, against Immortals, that series was unreal from Yuji. It was his best series. In game 2 was his best game all split, and it's just been up from there from this jungler, especially it being his second year at this level. We look at the core of Philip, Yuji, and Spyrex overall, players that have never made it top 4 at this level, and going into their second year, this would be that first step. If they win this game, they move up to top 6.
Uh-oh, this is the play we're talking about, and look who's here to join as well. Spyrex. No retreat. They have all Yuji. And there is no escape for you, Lens. He does get a nice Scout of the Week on the other side, trying to see if he can get the same side, but it's going to be the ring gauge kill.
Going bad.
Answering, getting a kill on a Yuji as Lens survived the whole time. Flash away from Spyrex. Wildcard answer the play beautifully.
It was the depth charge actually knocking up Masu on the way to Winsome, and that means that Masu wasn't able to get any damage. We got the ult from Yuji, but he ends up falling. It was a nice ult there from Duoking to finally get a kill back into Wildcard's pocket. They are still in a deficit here. They are still behind in this game, but this is that first step to turning things around. Even though it wasn't Lens who picked up the kill, it's something.
Scatter the Week connects, and there was no flash on Spyrex. An easy follow-up.
I mean, I have a feeling that Spyrex wants his money back on that one, because that didn't look like it was going to hit. But, you know, we don't question Rito.
If it grazes, it counts.
Yeah, I guess so. And I'll certainly agree.
King, though, he got the pull, and he did not want that one. Had to flash away as well as get the heal from Lens. The flash away. Wait a minute. Winsome, you're taking the turret the whole time. And so he gave over a kill. Sure, with Dual King, you picked it up. You would rather that be onto Lens. Now the Moonlight Vigil is going to get a little bit of damage with the charge from Shelly.
A good bit of damage.
But it's a good bit of damage that will force out the bot lane of Wildcard.
Yeah, Keel, I mean, he's standing there menacingly, but he's just there to collect the wave.
He's standing there menacingly. It's more like he's standing there awkwardly.
Yeah, and now he's just Masu is just going to be able to get some extra damage there on pick up that extra turret plate.
4 plates there.
Yeah.
A lot of gold for Masu. He already had the 2 kills. And I want to see how much more gold spread he has over Lens, since Lens still has yet to be able to cash in. Look at that.
Cool.
1,300 at 12 minutes into the game.
It's a BF sword.
It's a BF sword. We already saw the Bloodthirster completed by Masu as well.
Yeah.
He's definitely set up in this game to continue to be this carry for the team, this rookie player that having to fill the shoes of Tomo and Diamond as a bot lane duo that had been so powerful. And this is something I was going to bring up before, that when Yuji played with them, he had that shot calling from these veteran players in the bottom side of the map. This time around, it has been more of the rookies. Masu, Keetong for a while, and now having a bit more of that shot calling prowess from Winsome. You can see how that builds up the team consistently, and it even leads more into Masu being even more scary.
I mean, it's been an incredible comeback there from Winsome. We talk about his time on Cloud9 Academy last year. Very brief. Player who didn't really receive a lot of hype, didn't have the most... people didn't really think that much of him. But the way he's been able to turn it around here on FlyQuest, getting that LCS time, and you talk about, I mean, FlyQuest LCS, since Winsome came down here, they have been struggling a little bit. So he just really shows that kind of impact Winsome was able to have on that LCS stage and bring that down here into Challengers.
It also feels like Winsome, the time he spent over in the ERLs with Unicorn of Love Sexy Edition, like, he still didn't get enough attention, even though the team did very well when he was on it. Yep. So this is a player that we're seeing really continue this growth. As Moose Hater unfortunately had to ult away from the battle with Philip. Just continuing the spot lane. I'm really excited to see how they play, but they gotta make sure they're playing cautiously still. They've got this bounty on Masu, and while he does have the Bloodthirster, Heal has his Divine Tsundere completed. It's gonna be a lot of burst damage they can unleash onto Masu if Winsome's not perfect on his Devours.
I mean, Winsome is probably good, especially the fact that Yuji is here. This turret's going down. I like this. This is aggressive from Masu. He's making sure they are not in range to pick up these minions, and that's it. First turret, first brick gold going over into Masu's pocket. He's up almost 40 CS. He's up 2 kills and has been part of every plate drop on that bottom side of the map here. This Aphelios is out of his mind fed, and it's because of the level 1 from Philip, all that attention bot lane from Yuji, and it's just been great play from FlyQuest Challengers.
They have funneled everything into their rookie star, Masu. Making sure that this Aphelios is going to be the make or break for the team, especially when you have a Tom Kench. You really can do that. Plus, you have some peeling tools out of the Fi if you want to use it that way, or even out of Spyrex. Now, Lens shows up into the spot lane, but he had no right being there, so Philip says, give me more gold.
Philip, being the position police, says, sorry, Lens, that's an illegal move. He's going to take him out of the picture. You can see it. All this attention topside. You have the rotation. Masu has spent all the gold he earns, so FlyQuest get another neutral.
Oh, so they look for the fight in the top side. They get a lot of damage on the Winsome, but they're not focusing on a Masu, so they have to be careful. As Keel is getting sliced apart by red-white guns of Masu.
You keep telling him, red-white, don't fight. And Moose Hater does have the unstoppable force. The Devourer and Winsome are out of the picture. But ultimately, Wildcard call it off, Magical. They don't have what they need to make this play happen, and they have lost 4 out of 4 objectives in this early game. We look it back to last game as well. They picked up maybe 1 dragon and none of the Rift Heralds. This has been all FlyQuest, all series long. This is that clean gameplay we wanted to see from them. This is that teamwork we thought was missing in those first few weeks of the split. They have shown it.
This is also what we've seen of FlyQuest this playoffs. How they have been a team playing around these neutral objectives themselves. We were talking about Wildcard. Their identity for playoffs has been that. But FlyQuest too have been echoing that style. Getting these advantages, utilizing pressure bot lane, letting Philip be on his island in the top lane, and not really having to interact with him. Instead, always playing around getting either Spyrex or Masu in this position of power.
And let me tell you, Masu has a position of power, all right. 3-0 now, working towards that Infinity Edge. He's already halfway there. Yeah. And that second Rift Herald is going down. 30 seconds before this next Drake. This is going to be FlyQuest's sole point. But you see Wildcard, they're here. They almost have all their ultimates, sans Keel, ready to go. So Winsome, who has the Devour up, has to be on point. Like you said, Magical has to be ready to swallow up Masu if he's at the first sign of danger.
Lens got scared there by the purple guns of Masu getting rooted in place. But she could still yet to cash in on any of those stacks, losing a lot of them from getting picked off by Philip. Dragon spawning here in a couple seconds. Sligo does answer top lane, so will try to deny another charge out of Shelly, but that means it's a 4v4 fight around this potential dragon where Wildcard at this deficit and having a difficult time getting on top of Masu. Really do need everyone, all hands on deck.
Wow, and that's a second charge. Really smart. Yuji to drop the top side, let Philip escort it in, and pick up even more gold here. Saligo, of course, looking for the teleport. Philip, though.
Philip's looking for the kill.
He got him.
Instead, he says, who needs to worry about a teleport? I have mine up now, and you don't have that play anymore. You look at how Wildcard scatter to the winds.
They're leaving.
They can't play around top lane. They can't play around mid lane. They know that they can't play around Dragon. Everything that Wildcard were trying to set up has just been destroyed.
We're banking on that teleport from Saligo, but a really nice play from Philip removes that opportunity, and Wildcard suffer greatly for it. FlyQuest know that they can take that top tier 2, take the mid tier 1, and they can take this dragon at their leisure.
This is a pick, looking at Philip on this Fiora has been something critical for FlyQuest that they've always relied on. Even back last year when Philip was looking like he was on a tear, this rampage of a top laner, when he even got a stint in the LCS and really showed people the power that he can exert. A lot of that was off his play on Fiora, and why we've seen it banned almost all the time against him in this playoffs.
That's right, banned from him in game 1 as well, and oh, Philip.
Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. He's already popped the ghost. Grand challenge. Pop, pop, pop.
Oh my god, Philip also 3-0. It's just been an incredibly dominating performance here. Moose Hater, who's stacked a lot of armor, is in trouble.
But it's not a lot of magic resist. He does get a lot back on the Spyrix, but Yuji makes sure that there's not going to be a trade of solo laners.
Oh, there it is!
Cash it
Wildcard.
in!
Glens manages to cash in. That is a big pickup there for Lens. And a big injection of gold. That's something to be happy about.
It's something.
It's something. But, whatever gold he just got, FlyQuest just got it back with that turret. So.
Exactly, and that's the biggest thing, is that you cash in now. You get some gold back for Lens, but they are now nearly 6,000 gold behind at just the 20-minute mark. FlyQuest have been this team that, since picking up Winsome, we talked about it last time, their macro game, how they set up around these objectives has looked so much cleaner. They've looked so much more consistent on making sure they're not overextending. They're not getting caught out. Sure, a couple times we saw last game that Spyrix was a little bit too far out, but they're able to make plays elsewhere, always utilizing every position to its fullest.
And you can just see it. Philip is up more than 2,000 gold. Masu is up more than 2,000 gold. And what they've been able to do with it here, FlyQuest are so strong now. You can see what they're doing here, looking for these bush plays, denying Wildcard access to their jungle. And what that means is that soon, especially if a pick comes through, FlyQuest, they're looking for a Baron play.
Especially if they can get Keel. Keel is the one who has to feel confident enough to venture out, get some vision control, but with everyone being behind at least a half an item, the FlyQuest Challengers, there's not really that power that Wildcard can bring to the table in order to defend Keel if he does look for these trades against someone like Yuji or Spyrix.
And look at what FlyQuest are doing here on the map. Like, they're keeping these side lanes pushed in so deeply. It makes it so hard for Wildcard to, one, contest the mid push because someone has to answer these side lanes. And also, it's impossible to really gain access into your jungle because look at FlyQuest. They have all this time on the map to stay in their topside jungle, and Wildcard have to very carefully, very slowly inch their way into what should be their part of the map.
We had these hot takes about teams a couple weeks back, and for me, I said that I believe FlyQuest is possibly even better than that of Cloud9. And yes, you can ridicule me for that, but when I look at how this team plays, especially at their peak, the mechanics these players have, especially for being either sophomores or rookies here in the Challengers League, is on a level consistent with that of many of the veterans that we tend to see in the Challengers League, where they look to set up, especially as we continue to highlight with having someone like Winsome on the team, they look so clean, like right now, setting up for this dragon, forcing the hands of Wildcard so they can look for a pick immediately onto Duke and you try to venture in, but they gotta be careful with the damage onto the backline onto Yuji because you're taking a lot from the Baron. So they do turn around, deny the Baron from being taken, but all the while, Melvin's just trying to open up the base, utilizing this advantage with a nice Cyclone from Keel, but the seismic shove to make sure Masu's on a rampage. Re-engage from UG. Unleashed Power does not do enough. They do get 1 kill back on UG, make it 2, but they gotta be careful because here is Masu, the Wi-Fi wizard. No longer is he shackled down, but he's gotta be careful because he's shackled by Duo King with Moose Hater flanking on the other side. He picks up 1, but that's a huge shutdown for Wildcard. This fight just went awry as a re-engage onto Spyrex by Moose Hater, chasing him down the best he can. Double kill for the Malphite, the rock of the top lane, rock in the house of FlyQuest.
Wow, so Wildcard gets something back here. FlyQuest trying to pull Wildcard back and forth. While Philip is knocking on the base's door, they end up losing out in terms of numbers, but they still have a tremendous gold lead. And you can see on the minimap here, it ends up being Spyrax. They get caught. He still has the stasis, but look how much damage Yuji took. He was tanking the Baron, so that's the cost here. When you don't have a true tank and you're trying to make these kinds of Baron plays, you start losing a lot of your HP, and that's what led to the situation we saw.
Oh, and Moose Hater.
I got him.
He might be tanky, but not against 3 members. That time he's been killed off, and with the soul on the line, FlyQuest, knowing they have the advantage, no longer do they have to worry about the big beacon front line. But Wildcard still trying to take this quickly, burning it down. Fight secure, stolen away! The soul for FlyQuest as they re-engage. Soligo taking a lot of damage, will be the first casualty. Unleashed Power did nothing as Lens wanted to get the snipe, but he could not get the cash in, and everything falling apart. The deck of cards scattered to the floor as FlyQuest breathe fresh light back into the series and will look to take this one to the bank.
Calm, clean, and collected from FlyQuest Challengers. Even, I mean, wow, the Duo King actually managed to live. No, they delayed that spawn so that Wildcard, even if they come back online, they can't stop this, Alex.
No, they can't. FlyQuest, it was one little stumble, but that's all it was, a little bit of a hiccup as they get the ace eventually off of Moose Hater, and the series 2-0 to knock out Wildcard from playoffs.
Wow, it was a dominating showing there from FlyQuest Challengers, and this is why we say, now that Winsome is joined, now they look so good. The seeding at 7th place does not accurately show their strength, and now they move it towards top 6. They move on towards that potential first top 4 from the top side of UG, Spyrax, and Philip.
This team, like I said, this is a team that contests with the top. I think this is a team that will continue to show their glory here in playoffs. But we are going to toss it to a break, and when we come back, I believe Sierra has been able to fix her PC from when the cat turned it off, and she'll be back for the interview with Winsome.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our Verizon post-game interview. I'm standing by with Winsome after that 2-0 victory over Wildcard. First off, congratulations! You took a pretty strong win today. How are you feeling?
Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's really good because we lost before the against Dignitas. It's kind of sad, but we keep winning streak. Even has happened, so it's really, I'm proud of my teammates, and it's really good.
So when you joined us here in NACL, you talked about being pretty confident heading into playoffs about the team. Now that we're in playoffs and FlyQuest unfortunately has been knocked to the lower bracket, how are you feeling now going forward?
I mean, we winning easily the recent games, so if we like fix it more problem and then just play more detail, I think we can absolutely win the NACL. So yeah.
Okay, and
we have match later, so we can prepare more good, so we can easily win the game also, I think.
I love that. And talking about problems on the team, what do you think FlyQuest needs to overcome to be able to win playoffs at this point?
I mean, our doing great job, honestly, but like macro things like after like we getting Baron something like shit, like really detailed things. So I want to fix it the problem and then if he flicks it, and then I think we can just easily smash the other team. So yeah, that's my confidence. So yeah, that's it.
And then we've gotten to see a lot of great things from FlyQuest as of lately. Who do you think has really been like that standout player or that key to that success for you?
Say again?
So who do you think has been a big reason for the success and the winning that FlyQuest has had lately?
I think it's Masu is smurfing everyone. Confidence is awesome. So yeah.
And that was a duo that we've been looking forward to, you and Masu. So how has it been now being able to smurf on everybody in this bot lane?
Yeah, it's feeling good. And then finally we met as a teammates. It was late, so but we still smashed. So I think we have a good synergy. Yeah.
Love
yeah,
that.
I think, yeah, that's
Perfect. And we were really excited to see you in Challengers League. What do you think most of all that you've brought to the squad to help FlyQuest take these wins going forward?
forward. Like
what you've brought to the squad, because there was a couple of losses that FlyQuest took, but the teams looked really good since you've joined.
yeah. Maybe I didn't understand. Sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I mean, since you've joined, there's been a lot of winning for FlyQuest. So that you've obviously been a big reason of that. So yeah. So why do you think it is that you've been able to help turn FlyQuest into a winning team?
Because I'm good.
Simply put, I love that. And then last but not least, is there anyone in particular still in our playoffs that you look forward to playing against again?
I mean, I'm looking forward to revenge the Dignitas. So if I met them, I just want to win the game. Yeah, that's my goal now.
That's your goal?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Winsome, thank you so much for chatting. Before I let you go, any final words, any shout outs?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm doing honestly not satisfied, honestly, in my head. So in the BO5, I will show my more good things in the game. So yeah, thank you for cheering, and then yeah, keep watching, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Winsome. Have a good rest of your day, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see ya. As for everyone else here, we will see you real quick. That was just our first series, but after the break, it's going to be Team Liquid going up against Golden Guardians as one more team eliminated on the day. You're not going to want to miss it. Be back soon.